for the weekend when we operationalized our plan, where we had we had 2 points where members of Parliament could rally to, in coordination with Sergeant Arms, and that our VIP could escort them if they chose that option. I understand that some felt safe walking in the streets, adjacent streets, to get to Parliament. If it's highly volatile, we're in an environment that anything can go wrong at any minute because of the number of people that are there. So it is a consideration for us.
No, I understand that, but at no point in time was there any actions taken to block off Parliament Hill from the protesters, or no warnings were given to parliamentarians not to engage with anybody in that area. Nobody was told not to enter that area. So it wasn't considered such a high risk that we would have actually done anything to stop access.
I know, Senator, that the Sergeant at Arms has provided some information to the members of Parliament and also the employees, but I'm not quite sure of all the information or when it went out.
Well, apparently the Black Rod didn't care as much about us because he didn't give us any warnings. So, but I appreciate that. Next question I have, Deputy, if I may, in relation to all of the assets that were frozen by banks or financial institutions, have any charges been laid in relation to the utility of the money that was frozen? Any criminal charges laid against anybody or any organizations?
On the funds that were frozen from the platforms,
yes.
The RCMP does not have an active investigation on that. And on the referrals to the financial institutions, no charges have been laid.
And none are expected, is that correct?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay, I'll allow Member of Parliament May to take the last. Oh, she's gone already, sorry. I'm finished. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move to our final round then, and I believe Mr. Brock.
Thank you. A question to both Ms. Lucki and Mr. Vigneault. Public Safety Minister Mendocino is on record saying that Canadians would be troubled with anyone who associates themselves with the extreme statements that had been made by the purported leaders of the convoy that would seek to incite the overthrow of the government through violence. In reference to the Memorandum of Understanding and the manifesto of the convoy leaders, they sought the cooperation of the Governor-General and the Senate to end all federal mandates and to replace the federal government with a new framework of governance which respects the human dignity of all Canadians. Where is the threat of violence in that?
To me, those are words, and people have extreme views. It's only when those extreme views go to violence that, of course, that's where our concern lies, and that's where we prioritize our enforcement efforts.
Did you have reasonable grounds to arrest based on those words?
We were very aware of those words.
Yes or no?
And we provided additional protection to the Governor-General for that reason.
Yes or no? Were there grounds, were there reasonable grounds for you to believe an offense had been committed in relation to the Memorandum of Understanding and the manifesto?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, not at that point.
To Mr. Vigneault. Same question.
Sorry, same question. So I cannot speak for what Minister had in mind when he made those comments, but our assessment of the manifesto was obviously something of concern that we needed to understand if there were either the specific manifesto or other people that would be influenced by that manifesto.
Did you recommend that criminal charges be laid, sir?
That the CSIS does not have the power to recommend any criminal charges. That's not in our act.
Thank you. Deputy Commissioner OPP in Public Safety Committee several weeks ago indicated that 1 week prior to the invocation of the Emergencies Act, so by simple math, that would be February the 7th, that they had declared, the OPP had declared that there was a national emergency. So my question to both individuals is in relation to the convoy itself. This was a convoy that was permitted by Ottawa Police Service and City Council and Mayor as to where to park. There was an off-site location in terms of supplies and the supply route, etc. I asked this question several times to ministers with a zero response. I'm hoping the two of you can provide a response. What was the event that turned this lawful assembly, as protected by Charter 2, B, C, and D, what event occurred that caused this to be an illegal blockade and thus a national emergency? To both witnesses.
I will say that from the very onset, it was very soon that it was not a legal protest. It was an illegal blockade. And as far as the threshold, that's not for me to comment. I can only comment on the act itself and how we used it. But
you're part of the Integrated Command Center, Ms. Lucki. That information must have been shared with you. So what was the information that was shared with you?
I'm not a decision maker when it comes to.
I'm not asking for your decision. I'm asking, the OPP had declared that 1 week before the invocation, there was an event that they deemed to constitute a national emergency. What was shared with you as part of the Integrated Command Center?
There was operational specifics on the ground. It was known to the RCMP that there were some individuals within the convoy who posed potential threats to national security. We had no level of certainty about the capability, about the intent, and if a nexus to national security would be identified, the RCMP would.
Thank you. The Emergency Act provides offenses, a fine of up to $100,000 and a term of imprisonment for not more than 1 year. You'd agree with me, Ms. Lucki, that there were no charges laid under the Emergencies Act by way of those offenses in relation to the Ottawa convoy?
Not to the ones you're referring to, no.
And in fact, all of the other blockades across Canada, before and after the invocation of the Act, not one charge under the Emergencies Act, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
All charges were criminal code related and Provincial Highway Traffic Act related or municipal bylaws, correct?
Outside of Ottawa, yes.
Thank you. Does the RCMP possess the technical capacity to detect explosive materials in a non-invasive fashion?
I don't get into specific techniques, but in certain circumstances, we do have capabilities.
Is it true that the RCMP denied or ignored requests from the OPS or the
Mr.
Parliamentary
Brock?
Protective Service?
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
your